suit of clothes, and it'd probably be $1 a day for now. And I agreed to it. I met my wife. She was in the Salvation Army band. She was the bass drummer, and we met, and there was another fella. He kind of wanted her too, but she chose me. We walked and walked all over Tacoma. That's where I was when I got. And then we got married in the Salvation Army. Her name was Ruth Margaret Barnett, but her name was actually Margaret Ruth Barnett, but she didn't like the name Margaret, so she went by Ruth. And Ruth, you know me, is in the Bible. It says, Ruth says, "Where thou goest, I will go," and that was the kind of wife she was. She was just wonderful. Every time I would go into business or something of that nature, where if I had a down day, where she would go back out and work. She worked for Woolworths and places like that, restaurants. And she was always there when I needed her. Oh, she was beautiful. And when I was in the Army, she was in the Todd shipyard and worked there. And when I came home, she had all my money in the bank. And when I got home, I bought a car. We didn't have any honeymoon. We were pretty poor. My first home was $12 a month payments, and I could barely make them. And I worked on buses for 11 years, off and on. I was so good that I could drive on there. And then I worked in a sawmill, and I rode the Ross carrier and picked up lumber. I remember the first time the boss says, he says, "You want to drive one of those boss carriers?" I said, "Sure do." He says, "Well, there's one. Get to pick up that lumber and put it up there on the dock." So I picked it up, but I didn't get it cinched tight, and it all shot out, this plain lumber. I just went back and stacked it all on, cinched it up tighter, and went back on. He says, "You got the job." Patricia, we call her. She was born on St. Patrick's Day, that's why she got her name, and then I named her after my sister, Patricia Helen. And she was special that even now, I have to walk a mile or two a day, and she walks with me, and it hurts her worse than it does me. Billy, he died of cancer, and it was a very horrible death. It's tough when your kids die before you do. And Roger, he's a truck driver, and he drives all over the southeast. And he's married and has a home in Texas. I was drafted, and I had 2 children. But Montana having scarce population, well, we got to the fathers pretty early. I was thinking I'd try to get in the Air Corps and take the test. So I went in the Army, and I got in infantry. But the reason I didn't get to take the test was I was 26 years old, and I was 26 and a half. I went to basic training in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and we had about, several hundred people there. Well, we had sleeping bags, And we'd have to shake them out because the snakes like to get in there and where it's warm. And I didn't want to get in with a snake. Joe Salzberg, he was a Jewish kid, but he was very, very wonderful. We were telephone linemen, and we'd spread battle lines from the headquarters company to each ABCD companies. And sometimes we'd get sidewise, so we'd have a mortar shell come in and we'd both run. He'd go one way and I'd go the other. Then we'd creep back to see if he was still alive. One time we had to go on the line, we had to go through a minefield, and we had just captured a German army guy, but he was from Holland, and he says he just got captured and they just put him in the army. So he said, I set this minefield and I can take you through it. And so the head man there at the deal says, well, you and Joe want to go through it? And so we said, yeah, we'll go through it. We stepped in his steps and followed him across this, and it saved us quite a few deals. And then we strung wire too. And I got across that, and then I got a Bronze Star for it. We crossed the river into Florence, and we had to carry our rifles up above our head to keep them getting wet, and things like that. I was in 5 battles according to my discharge. 5 major battles, they called them. To me, that was all one big major battle. I was in Florence, Frienzi, they call it over there. We was going across the field one time, and one of those fellows up in the tree started shooting at us, and I had a small automatic, and I fanned the air with it, and he didn't shoot no more, so I guess I made it. The Germans, you know, when they had their machine guns, they would shoot about 3 feet above the ground because they wanted to disable you instead of kill you. And so all you do when you heard the machine gun going was get down flat. And I had this telephone under me, it was about that thick, and boy, I'd be digging that out from under me. One time I came back from the hospital. I was in the hospital because I had malaria. And I just got back, and I had a lot of mail. And they brought the mail in, and I was starting to read it, and the fellow says, Shoemaker, you and Joe got to get out and get line so-and-so. And so I started going. The guy says, yeah, you stay there. He says, you read your mail, I'll go for you. And he went, and he got killed. And that was terrible. We wrote to his wife quite a bit from then on, because he wasn't exactly a friend, but he was just one of the soldiers. And he says, you go ahead and read your mail. And he says, I'll go out for you. And then we had the mortars came in, and Joe got away, but we knew how to scamper. But this fellow evidently didn't, and he got his head blown off, so he was in bad shape. And I had to go out and pick him up. I loved the Army because it just sort of made a man out of you. And I liked Joe awfully well. He was Jewish, and he would get all those cookies and things from home for their holidays, and I enjoyed them. The war was ended, and I was in the hospital then, and I didn't know whether I'd get back to my outfit or not, but I did. And they sent us to Trieste to save it because they was afraid that the dictator from Hungary, what was his name? Tito, would come down there, but he didn't. And so then we got going little castles there, Udine and places like that.